So they did it. Step 1 is pass fail. My thoughts coming right up. Alright guys, I know this is shocking news. I was shocked to hear it. The pass fail thing is absolutely crazy. The first thing I need to tell you all is take a deep breath. I think everybody's stressing out. I'm a little stressed about it. I know, I'm sure we all are. Like, what does this mean? Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? Or honestly, I feel a bit almost the worst for anyone that's taking steps soon. It's still going to be scored because now you're studying towards a test that you know is about to change to pass fail. At least I didn't know at the time when I took it. But with that said, just remember a little perspective. There are more important and bigger things in life than one test. Even if you have to study for a test that's pass fail, you'll be just fine. I promise you that. And still just study your hardest, do your best, but in the end you can take it with a grain of salt because no one really knows for sure what is about to happen with the scoring system and how residencies will look at your application. So with that said, I would say to do everything you can to be a great applicant, but kind of similar to the advice that I tell my pre-med students is like focus on doing things that you enjoy, not just doing things to check a box, you know. Go and explore the specialties that you're interested in. Go get involved in stuff in med school that you want to get involved in, and just be the best applicant you can be, but stop putting so much extra stress on yourself. And I think hopefully that is the goal of what they were trying to do here anyway with making Step 1 pass fail, and maybe we could ourselves take a step to try and work towards that as well. I'm not saying that this is definitely going to accomplish that goal. I know everyone in pre-med still type A as shit, but we could try. So what do I think is going to happen? I'm going to say that first off, obviously, STEP is going to be a lot less important of a factor going into the admissions process, which at this point seems like it's going to be Step 2 that is going to bear that significance. We'll see how much program directors and different residencies will actually focus on Step 2. Will they have certain cutoffs? Like I know a lot of competitive specialties kind of have some sort of cutoff screening point to take a lot of applications kind of just and throw them in one pile so that they don't have to go through thousands of or hundreds of applications for only a couple spots. Will Step 2 be that? I'm not sure. What I will say is that I personally could see how Step 1 is not the best indicator of whether or not you're going to be a good clinician. You have to just memorize so much and so much minutia, all important to learn at some point, but like if you want to be a dermatologist, is it really that important if you memorize every single part of the TCA cycle? I don't know. I would say that Step 2 at least is a fully clinical test after your third year rotation, so you're actually doing medicine and then taking an exam. It kind of feels like there'll be a lot less pressure with that because you're kind of studying for it as you actually go through your rotations, as opposed to sitting down for 6 months and just grinding every day, which can be really taxing on students to prepare for such a high stakes exam like Step 1 is. So I think in that sense there'll be a positive. I don't think scores are not going to be a factor anymore because I think we still have Step 2. We still have our third year grades, which will probably play an even bigger importance, as will outside factors such as research and whatnot. But again, I'm just a medical student myself giving my opinions, and we're going to have to wait and see what a bunch of different program directors come out with and say about this new scoring policy. I realized I didn't really talk that much about my personal feelings towards the Step 1 change. So, I mean, what I would say is, I guess you need to have a little bit of perspective on how I did on Step. So I did well, but I did not crush it by any means. Because of that, I feel like I'm in this camp where, to me, it doesn't matter that much. I mean, I'm still going to be applying in a year where Step 1 is considered, most likely, by program, so I don't think much will change for me. I do think still more importance is going to be now placed on Step 2, which means I definitely need to crack down and make sure I'm doing as well as I can on that exam, which I was going to do anyway, but I definitely think there's probably a little bit more pressure on Step 2 for me. Other than that, I think that in the end, like, what's going to happen is going to happen. Like, this is not, you'll have no way of knowing like how this is going to change or affect, you know, the residency spot you would have gotten or really anything, and you never will know, you know, what it would have been like if they didn't change this policy. So for those of you that aren't yet to take the exam, like, don't worry too much about it, because there's nothing you can do. And I know that sounds maybe oversimplified, but that's the truth, and we kind of just have to roll with the punches in life, and you know, that's kind of what I'm trying to do. So I'm really not like that torn up about it or anything like that. I thought it was definitely a surprise. I actually really didn't think they were going to go to this policy change. I think the intentions for doing it are pure, and so I'm hoping that it actually does help with mental health of medical students across the country. I think it will, but I guess only time will tell. But yes, I'm totally like fine with it. Definitely interesting to think about the different perspectives. I'm sure there are a couple I didn't touch upon, like how does this affect IMGs or maybe even like DO students. I know some DO students are nervous. Like it's harder to distinguish themselves now. I think for those that have already taken the test, I don't think that's going to be a problem in the next couple of years. But moving forward, we're going to have to see what happens. It'll be interesting. I don't have all the answers. These are just my thoughts for now. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to listen.